Good morning and welcome to today's Smart Business Strategies podcast. I am Anna Wiles, the franchise economist. I am delighted to have you join us today. I have a great special guest for you, Mary Pang with Medi-Weightloss. Mary, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Anna. It's a pleasure to be here.
I am so thrilled to have you here. Folks, I want you to pay a special attention to this concept. It has got some dynamite things that differentiate it and make it the one for you to consider. So, Mary, start us off and tell us a little bit about you in Medi-Weightloss.
Absolutely. So my name is Mary Pang. I'm a director of franchise development with the Repim Group, and I represent Medi-Weightloss. And Medi-Weightloss is a 20-year-old franchise concept that specializes or offers a comprehensive, clinically backed, medically supervised weight loss program to our patients. And we have 111 locations as of about 2 weeks ago in 27 states currently.
That's fantastic. And Mary, so we've all heard of medical weight loss centers. What is it that makes Medi-Weightloss unique and different among all the others that are out there?
So part of it is, that we are a 20-year-old brand. And so this is not something we can very confidently say. We are not a trend. We are not jumping on the bandwagon of something. We've been doing this. We've actually helped over 435,000 patients lose 10 million pounds over the last 20 years. And so where everyone else can kind of focus on is focusing on GLP-1s or IV therapy or, a specific area. We have under our weight loss umbrella, we're able to offer all of those as tools in our toolbox to help someone in their personalized weight loss journey. We're not a one-stop shop or a one-trick pony.
Speak a little bit. I think another thing that makes you so very unique are the people behind the brand. Can you speak to those folks?
Absolutely. And this I could get on my soapbox there as well. But I mean, it starts from the beginning. It starts with our leadership team. Brian Petronic is our CEO. He comes to us with more than 30 years of experience in the healthcare space. He actually helped grow a senior care home franchise from one location to 750 locations in 8 countries in 22 years without any litigation, which means he's been doing business the right way for a really, really long time. Charlotte, our COO, has come to us with more than 30 years of experience in multi-site retail operations, meaning she's worked with the likes of, big box brands like American Eagle and Gap, The Limited, Express. On the clinical side, she worked with Lens Crafters, and everything she's been doing in her entire career has been helping individual locations be successful. So it makes a lot of sense that she's come over and helps us do the same with our franchisees. Our clinical affairs team, I call them our secret sauce. There is also a reason why we've been in business for 20 years, also without any litigation. We have Dr. Gretchen on one side. She's our chief medical officer. She's triple board certified with all of the main
triple board certified.
And so he's making sure any guidelines, anything that we're rolling out is top notch, right? It's buttoned up. And then alongside her is Dr. Macklin Guzman, who's our Chief Science and Quality Officer. He's an award-winning epidemiologist from the public sector. And so what he helped us do is, first of all, make sure that we're part of the medicine field. This is not just on the business side of things, but that also any new products or services that we're offering, whether that's a new supplement, whether that's a GLP-1 compound, or what we're looking at down the road now are adding in things like hormone replacement therapy or HRT to more of our wellness offering. Those are things that they've got their finger on the pulse of. And if their stamp of approval is on it, it means it is the safest product on the market, which makes our franchisees feel really good as well. And then our marketing team, we've got a team of 9 people strong internally. 9, which is virtually unheard of. But think of them as the ad agency for franchisees. So they're helping with the digital marketing component, driving people into the clinic. So what our franchisees, their main responsibility is calling people who've called them first. So there's a lot of support behind this brand.
It sounds like it, and some very special qualified people that set themselves in your whole brand apart from anyone else in the field. So Mary, let's focus on on the role of a franchisee. How is he or she spending their time and what are they doing?
So we've got two different roadmaps that a franchisee can take. One would be what we call owner operator, which means they are taking the role of the clinic operations manager. It's a little bit into the weeds to describe all of that, but basically what they're doing is they're driving traffic into the clinic, they're building brand awareness in the community, and they are the first line of defense for having a prospective patient then turn into a patient. So that's their primary role. They would also be leading a team. They would be driving marketing efforts and having people come into the clinic. So someone can either take that role on their own, or you can hire for that individual as what we call the executive owner model, in which case someone is managing the manager, they're overseeing the team, they're keeping an eye on the KPIs, but they're not directly involved in the day-to-day operations of the business. And we have examples of both. Our largest franchisee has 10 locations in 2 states as our executive owner, and he's about to sign an 11th location. And so he's continuing to scale on that side of things. And then we've got folks who start with a single clinic and they're expanding and evolving out of that owner operator model into a clinic, into an executive model as they continue adding more locations.
Because the demand is there. Mary, share a little bit with the audience the amazing statistics about the size and growth of the industry.
Yeah. Well, this statistic, once you see it, you can't unsee it. 74% of American adults are either obese or overweight today. If you bring that down, that's 7 out of 10 people walking down the street have a need for our services. So that's where it starts. Everyone knows on the GLP-1 craze, that number is in the billions, in double-digit billions at this point. And so there's a huge need for what we do in our nation. And what we're doing is not just helping someone get that number down on the scale. We're not just helping someone who wants to lose 10 pounds before summer. This is for people who need to lose 40, 50, 60 pounds. And they've tried at least 3 or more diet programs on their own statistically, and they haven't seen success. And so what they're looking for is in-person accountability, which is what they're going to get when they come into a Medi-Weightloss clinic, is they're sitting across from a medical provider who's going to tailor that program to them and make sure that they are getting exactly the roadmap that they need so that they're seeing a sustainable change overall. So there's a lot of need. The need, it's not even opportunity. There's a need in our country right now for what we do. Yeah.
So, Mary, who makes an ideal candidate for Medi-Weightloss? It's sounding like a lot of people will assume you have to come from healthcare or hospital administration or something like that. Is that true?
It is not. So that is a myth. The myth would be that you have to, have that medical background or be a doctor or be a nurse. What we are actually place more weight on than coming from the medical side of things is that you've got business acumen. Do you have experience in sales? Do you have experience in marketing? Have you led a team before? Hired and fired folks? Attracted strong talent to whatever your team was. Those are things that we're looking for because we will train on everything that's related to the medical side. We'll train on the technical side. The other thing that we see as a common red thread with our strongest franchisees is that there's a personal connection to the mission. Maybe someone's got their own weight loss journey. So they know where that patient is coming from when they walk in the door. Maybe they've got a family member that had a health scare related to being obese or being overweight or a chronic illness. Or you can just look around your community and you see that this is something that I can make an impact with. That is a key driver more than just the numbers, right? When it comes to this business and who really connects with the brand.
All right, I'd love to talk about the labor model. So,
Yeah.
first, it sounds like before we move on to that you're not looking for any particular background because you have world-class training and support, but you're looking for a skill set. People who have business acumen, leadership skills, management skills, because you don't teach that. You can teach them about the weight loss industry. Is that right?
That's correct. And I would say and this is a tribute to the support of the brand. We have had people who have had no business experience, and we've been able to hold their hand through that. And now I'm thinking of one franchisee in particular. She said, I'm here today because of how the franchise supported me. She opened up her second clinic on July 30th, and she's talking about opening up her third. So we can work with someone who has no business experience, but I will say the road is a lot easier if you do have some of that background behind you.
All right. Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So what is the labor model for Medi-Weightloss? Can you speak to that?
Yeah.
Who are the employees? Where do they come from? And do you help with any of the recruiting and training of them?
Yep. So we do help with that. When you start, your hours of operation are 5 days a week, 30 hours a week. And so when you start, you're going to have 2 part-time medical providers, 2 part-time medical assistants, the clinic operations manager, which is your only full-time salaried position, which again, either you as the franchise owner can be, or you can hire for that role. And then you'll have a contracted, I call it rent-a-doc, rent a license. You'll have a medical director who's on an oversight role. They are not in the clinic. They are not seeing patients. You're not paying them a doctor's salary. So in the clinic, to start with, when we say part-time, if you're open 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, you would have one person in the clinic to start with. And then as you start building your book of business, you would scale from there. So it's pretty simple to begin with. And then hiring wise, we help with role descriptions. We'll help with, we've got a medical recruiter to help with finding that medical director, which it's a non-issue to find that doctor. This is something that they're looking to do. It was a pretty easy way for them to make some pretty good mailbox money without having to leave their job, or they don't have to, quit their practice. And then we'll also help with where to post, how to post, what to look for all of those other roles in the clinic.
That's great. And of course, there are always best practices from the other franchisees, like how did they recruit their team? How do you compensate? All that sort of stuff. So I did a consultation this morning, and that was the first. So I presented some great franchises to them. I did do a Medi-Weightloss check, and y'all were sold out, or I would have presented you. And his first question to me is, will the franchisors help me with identifying and recruiting, the right people for the business?
Yeah.
So that's really important.
Very important. And of course, ultimately someone is making that final hiring decision, but we're there with them. We can do second and third interviews, and also the training behind the team. Sometimes I get asked well, I don't know how to hire a nurse practitioner. That's okay. The transferable skill is, who's a rock star when you sit across from them, right? Who you want to have on your team. We will train on all the technical side of it. We will have someone on site when you open, when you're working with patients, and seeing people come through the door, role playing. There's ongoing training that never stops for you and your team. So there's support there, even different types of incentivization models and things like that. I'm getting into the weeds now, but there's so much support that will help with helping structure and find your team. So.
Well, Mary, this show is called Smart Business Strategies, and you've already shared a bunch of them, but is there any big standout one for Medi-Weightloss that you really wish to bring up or maybe underscore?
Yeah. So we mentioned the people behind the brand, which I think it's head and shoulders above, other folks that I've seen in the industry or worked with. What I would say is their vision for where we're going. Like I mentioned, this is a 20-year-old brand. We are established. We have a track record. We are not resting on our laurels. And so what we're going to see is, as the industry evolves, as this becomes more and more of a focus for people and longevity and things like that, we are going to be expanding more into wellness through weight loss. So I mentioned hormone replacement therapy is something that we're actually piloting right now with several of our clinics, and that's something that's likely going to.
I'm Anna Wiles, the franchise economist. See you next Wednesday at noon Eastern, and be wildly wealthy in all areas of your life. Bye-bye.